Esta lucha está por el campeonato de AAA Mega.
Are you okay over there?
I'm just excited.
Are you now?
Very.
And what are we excited for?
Well, you and I got a score to settle, sir.
Oh, do we?
Yeah. Promos were bullshit. Sorry. We actually, we're really cool. We're friends. Put her there. Fucker. Anyway.
Yes, sir.
So, wrestling.
Wrestling.
What you got here?
You see, you're talking about me being the champion and everything.
Yeah, I know. You brought a bigger belt, asshole.
Are you jealous?
A little bit.
Okay.
At least you didn't bring the Universal Championship. Because then I would have just made fun of you.
Why is that?
That's an ugly belt.
You're right, but red's my favorite color.
I'm talking about the blue one. Or I guess that's WWE.
No.
It's blue now, yeah.
Well, yeah, the blue is the Universal.
That's what I mean,
yes,
yeah. But
yes.
it changes colors.
Yeah, because Raw is red and SmackDown's blue.
Yeah, and right now it's Roman, right?
Yes, it is.
Sorry, I haven't been watching WWE ever since the pandemic. I'm about to start again. I tried watching it without a crowd, and actually it was Bailey that ruined it for me. Because she came out and she was cutting a promo as though there was an audience.
Right.
And it's just like at one point she even looked to the crowd that wasn't there, and I'm like, okay, we're done here.
Okay, but you got to think though. That's how a lot of the other companies were though.
Except AEW.
Yeah, but they do have a crowd now.
Kind of, yeah. And they were the first to start bringing crowds back, I believe. I mean, the first big one.
Yes.
Yeah.
They were.
Because I actually think NWA was actually the first ones to have crowds. Or did they pre-record all those?
They pre-recorded all theirs.
Yeah, I know they had some that were pre-recorded, but I didn't know how far.
I think they actually pre-recorded a whole season.
That makes sense.
So.
Because I know AEW had some in the can. Like they had or no, they didn't. They recorded some with audience members from QT Marshall's school, the Nightmare Factory. And then they started running at Daly's place.
I think it's just been no, they're at one spot, but they talking about Daly's place where they're at now.
Where they're at now, yeah.
Okay, well, they're at the one spot, yes. Recording there, yes. I think they were pre-recording all those.
Yeah, but then they ran out of the pre-recorded stuff.
Right.
So they started running at Daly's place.
Right, and that's when they're actually using not just the wrestlers, but they're also using actual fans to come in and.
Yeah, which is awesome. But AEW was the only wrestling I was watching for quite a while during the pandemic because it wasn't a full crowd, but they had some. But at no point did anybody act like there was a crowd when there wasn't one.
Well, no, because here's my thing: you got to base everything off of a crowd.
Right, it's just not the same.
It's not.
No. But they did the best they could, which brings me to our official sponsor for this podcast. Young Bucks, Killing the Business. It's a fantastic book. Whether you're a wrestling fan or not, pick it up. I'm almost halfway through it. It's very, very good. And yes, I did get the signed copy, but that was actually by accident. That was all they had.
I got... What in the world? Alrighty then. You're right. Young Bucks, they did kill the business.
They did no such thing.
How do you figure?
How did they kill the business?
Okay. Here's my theory.
Oh, we're getting right into it. Here we go.
Here's my thing. Okay. You got the Young Bucks.
Yep.
Okay. Who, back in the day, one of the greatest tag teams of all time. But, especially when they're Generation Me. Okay.
Oh, God.
Hey, they had one of their best matches of all time.
Okay, true.
Against the Motor City Machine
Guns.
True.
True.
So, you got to bear with me on that one. But, they do the super kick.
I know.
Too much.
You know why they do the super kick too much?
Why do they do the super kick?
To piss people off.
Okay, well, that does get them over as one of the best heels in the business.
Yep.
I will agree with that. But...
I love it.
Well, I know you do.
I love the super kick party. Because it's ridiculous.
Just like what? Are you an Ace Crusher party fan as well?
A what now?
Ace Crusher?
Ace? Who? What?
Yeah, you didn't know that, did you?
No, I did.
Ace Crusher is the RKO.
Oh,
Diamond
okay.
Cutter. Yeah, that's what.
That's what the move is actually called.
Yeah, because Johnny Ace used to use that. John Laurinaitis.
Johnny, I used to use that move back in the day.
In Japan.
Yeah. Yeah, he did wrestle for a long time in Japan, didn't he?
Yes, he did. He was actually a big star over there.
Yeah. Oh no, a lot of people were big stars. I guess that's one of the many things I really love that New Japan's becoming popular now is you're starting to see how big of a star-making factory Japan really is.
Yes. See, Japan didn't really get its stride until now because obviously when the last couple of years, what channel was that here in the States?
Axis?
Axis, yes, that's right.
Oh yeah, well, and okay, so that's such an interesting chain of events, how that all happened. And I love telling the story. So wrestling fans know this story, but for those who don't know, so New Japan Pro Wrestling's been around since the late 70s.
Yes.
And arguably, in my opinion, in terms of pure wrestling, is probably the best wrestling out there right now in terms of pure wrestling. In-ring quality, it's pretty hard to say New Japan's not the best, at least not one of the best. It's in the top 2 at the very least.
Well,
I think it's number 1, personally.
Okay, then what would be number 2?
Maybe. It kind of depends on your wrestling style. I'd have to say for in-ring work quality, maybe WWE, not accounting for style. Because I don't love the WWE style. But, I mean, for running shows multiple times a week, there are hardly any botches, and most of the psychology makes sense to a point. I don't think it's on New Japan's level, but then again, New Japan has some matches where it's like, what the fuck are they doing?
Okay, but you got to think though is when you look at New Japan, you're looking at AEW.
No, not at all.
Oh, but okay, and okay, this will probably go back to when I called in, a couple weeks ago, is okay. New Japan doesn't really have storylines per se.
Not in the WWE sense,
okay.
no.
No, they don't. And that also goes to the fact of, with this whole win-loss record and everything.
Which I love.
Okay. But you gotta have some story to make sense of the characters.
Oh, New Japan totally has story. It's just longer, much longer.
So you're saying that the way they do it is they base it off of the 80s style. Because they drew... Because, okay...
New Japan's storytelling is really... It's hard to compare because New Japan does it in a way that nobody else is doing it.
Okay, well, that's why I said 80s wrestling, because... let's use Hogan and Savage.
Okay.
Okay? WrestleMania 4. Mm-hmm. Savage wins the belt.
Right.
With the help of Hogan.
Yep.
And that set off the chain of the Mega Powers.
Right.
A year later, Mega Powers explode.
Yep.
And Hogan and Savage fight for the title.
Right.
Okay? That's what I'm getting at by New Japan is because it takes them a long time to get to, okay, we'll start here, go to here, and then we finally finish here.
Right.
Okay? That's what I'm saying is AEW is doing as well.
Yes,
They're actually doing that because...
For the most part, there's a handful of things that are like... But I think that's just they're dropping what's not working.
Well, you're right. And I know they got AEW Dark and everything, but he's stars on that as well.
Yep, which is awesome.
It is. But you got to... AEW has a lot of talent there that they need to get established more. Right,
and I think that's the whole point of Dark.
It is. But if they want to establish themselves over more and more as champions... I'm not saying, not just as champions and everything, because, a lot of people say that this is just a prop and everything. But to me, if it's like, okay, so is that saying that in the NFL that you could win a Super Bowl trophy? That's not a prop. The NBA championship is not a prop.
Well, it's a prop in a sense that it's something to to shoot towards.
That's right, and that's what I'm saying is when you're a wrestler, you strive to be a champion.
Right.
And if you want to be a champion in a wrestling organization, you can't just let a title just go long.
Right, because then you end up in situations like arguably WWE was in for a long time, where the best wrestlers were going after the Intercontinental title.
Right. And that's what I'm saying, like, especially back in the Attitude Era.
Yeah, the Intercontinental title was the work title.
Right. But when it came to the world title, though,
that was whoever was drawing more money.
Right.
Like whoever was the biggest attraction.
Who was the world champion at the time in the Attitude Era?
Yeah, that's how you end up with Goldberg and oh god, I forget who was in the match. When Jericho and Owens were supposed to be the main event at WrestleMania for the Universal title.
Yes.
And then they brought Goldberg in instead.
Yeah.
Like, man, I visibly groaned, like audibly groaned when Goldberg came in, because I knew where they were going. They were going to set it up, and I'm like, oh, that's going to be such a damn good match. And it was a good match, but boy, would have been so much better if they had more time, if it was a championship match and it had been those two.
Right, and I agree with that, but of course they had to use the Brock Lesnar ego for that.
I don't know how much that had to do with Lesnar, though.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, what better way for Brock Lesnar to get over on Goldberg than to not only beat him, but take the title?
But I think Brock Lesnar gets a bad rap for his ego, when I think what it is it's a well-known fact that Brock Lesnar doesn't like interacting with people, and he prefers to have a schedule where he's not constantly there. But I don't think it was ever part of his deal. Like, he was like, oh, yeah, and by the way, I have to be the champion. I don't think that was ever part of his... Like, I don't think his ego's that big, frankly.
Well, okay.
Because I think Brock Lesnar couldn't give a shit less whether or not he has a wrestling title.
Well, no, and you're right. But in the same sense, it's like Brock Lesnar doesn't need the title either.
Exactly. He doesn't need it.
No, he doesn't. And
at the time, Owens needed that title.
Right. And ever since he lost it, look what's happened to Owens.
Well, it's not even just that he lost it. It's the fact that it was like pulled out from... Like, you remember when he won the title? How fucking cool that was?
Yes. With the help of Triple H.
That was an awesome moment. That was so badass. Kind of like... And it's still one of my favorite moments of his is actually his NXT debut.
Oh.
It's one of my favorite matches when he was facing CJ Parker, who would become Juice Robinson.
Yep.
That's perfect example of New Japan building stars. I hated CJ Parker. I was like, this dude can't even work.
Yep.
Come to find out, he wasn't allowed to work.
Nope.
Because he was a squash guy.
And now he's the leader of the Bullet Club.
Juice Robinson isn't.
He's not the leader?
Evil is.
Oh, Evil is?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought Juice Robinson was the leader of the Bullet Club now.
Nope. Unless something just happened.
Okay, well, never mind.
Did something just happen? Hang on. I gotta fact check this.
Okay, never mind. I apologize. I thought...
Well, hang on. Let me check this. Because, last I knew, Evil was the leader of the Bullet Club.
I thought when he was the New Japan United States champion, he was the leader of the Bullet Club.
Oh, no. You were thinking Kenny.
No.
Kenny was leader of the Bullet Club when he had the U.S. title.
No, I know. And he was when he had the world title as well.
Yes.
But what I'm saying is when Juice took over.
Nope, not leader of the Bullet Club.
Oh, and there's a spider right there.
Yeah, no, he's just there. But, okay. I was going to get pissed if Juice Robinson was the leader of the Bullet Club. Oh, look at there.
Alrighty then.
Our spider friend is back.
Oh, okay.
He's a cast member.
Oh, is he the mascot?
No, he just likes to scare the shit out of Eric.
Oh. He's doing a dang good job of me, too.
Yeah, he's already out of the room. Okay, so we were meandering a lot. Oh, yeah, so his debut match, I just love it because you could see it on his face, and I was just like... And it was funny because I knew who Kevin Steen was, but I wasn't I didn't know a lot about him.
Oh. Okay.
Right before he debuted for NXT, I had just watched a ton of his matches from Ring of Honor and PWG.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, holy shit. And then when I saw this guy was coming to WWE, it was like, oh shit, like this is gonna be awesome.
See, and that's the thing is like I especially back then, I was following wrestling like conservatively. Like it's hard to, especially when you have real jobs and everything else. And
Yeah, I know, and there's so much of it now.
Right. Well, back in the day when I was following Kevin Steen and El Generico, hi Sami Zayn.
No. El Generico disappeared. Around the time Sami Zayn debuted, coincidentally. Yes, we're really doing it. Come on, man.
Okay.
Kayfabe, bro.
I'm
Kayfabe.
sorry. I apologize. And obviously Super Kick Party and Adam Cole and all that stuff. I was actually following conservatively with the Briscoes and everything. And then, because Kevin Steen, one of his best matches is obviously with El Generico, the ladder war.
Oh, yeah.
And
a lot of his best matches are with Generico. And then the aforementioned Sami Zayn, they had some really good ones too.
Yes, they did. But yeah, like PWG and everything, it's like, to me, PWG is one of the best. To me, PWG was the developmental for Ring of Honor. And you would disagree with me.
No, not necessarily. I wouldn't go so far as to say it's developmental, but there's no denying that Ring of Honor, particularly with wrestlers on the West Coast,
right?
Especially because at the time when PWG was just starting to get going, if you were on the West Coast and you were a wrestler, you were like, good luck getting out of there.
Right. But the thing is, though, is like
actually partially thanks to these fellas, right here.
Okay, it wasn't just them.
I know. I said partially.
Okay.
Because I think Christopher Daniels was really the first one to, at least in the 2000s, not ever.
No. He technically went back there.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Because back in the late 90s and everything, he was wrestling for WWE.
Everyone.
Well, yeah, WWE and WCW and matches and live on TV. And then he went to TNA.
Yep.
When they first started.
Yep.
So, well,
and I guess there was UPW too.
UPW, that's right.
That's where Cena got trained, right?
That was WWE's other developmental.
Yeah, but they were legit. Like they had an agreement, right?
Right.
Yeah.
They had an agreement with each other to
get people ready for OVW.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying, because UPW was WWE's developmental, and then when Jim Cornette went back, down south.
That's right. You're right.
Then they made OVW the developmental.
That's why they brought Cena over there from UPW.
Right. Because that's where what's his name? Samoa Joe.
Yeah, UPW.
He trained at UPW.
Yep.
But actually, PWG was just like a regular local indie show.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, everybody's like, okay, this started to get a little steam. Everybody like Kevin Steen and
then it became known as like the place to watch independent wrestling for a while.
Right, and
they kept it small and they kept it exclusive, and it was like the cool place to go.
Right, but everybody from Ring of Honor was working at PWG.
Yep.
PWG, Ring of Honor.
Yep.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, even a place like Ring of Honor, even though they have their own training school, PWG was their developmental. TNA's developmental was OVW, because at the time TNA and OVW had a deal.
That's right, because WWE moved down to FCW.
Yes.
Yep.
Then WWE moved down to FCW, and FCW got rebranded with NXT.
Correct.
So.
Well, they just flat out closed down FCW.
Well, that's just like Deep South. They closed that down too.
They sure did. What was the other WWE developmental? We're missing one. I want to say it was in Ohio.
HWA?
Yes.
Well,
wow, that's some obscure shit right there.
Heartland Wrestling Alliance.
There you go.
But that's where people like Jon Moxley came out of.
Yep.
And everything else.
Well, and then obviously, like, he moved wherever they moved their developmental to. But you're right. Yeah.
Well, no, technically,
he got sent down to FCW.
But he wasn't signed. But he was when he was in HWA. He was HWA as his own.
Right, right. When he got his developmental deal, he got sent down to.
That was like years,
Yeah,
obviously years later.
yeah.
But when he went to HWA, that was when OVW had the developmental contract.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
But they're also working with him though.
Right, but
A little
OVW
bit-
was their official farm system.
Right, but they were working with him a little bit, especially when they did that Brian Pillman Memorial Tournament. Well, not tournament, but show.
Yep.
And what was it? Obviously, we're going off basis here and everything, but that's the point of wrestling.
Well, that's the point of this podcast
Yes,
too. We
that's
just
the point of
go
the podcast.
everywhere.
Um,
Yeah, people are watching this. They're like, "Wait, what the fuck? You were? Where we at now?
I
We're
mean,
jumping all over the damn place."
okay, well, if you want to give us a topic, just give us a topic.
Wrestling.
And then we'll go for it.
Yeah, exactly. If you want to give us a topic, feel free because there's a chat up there.
Oh, is there a channel?
Nobody's talking, but
Oh, is there anybody online right now?
yeah, there's a couple people.
Oh, okay.
Probably just like, what the hell's going on here?
Oh well, just talking about wrestling.
Oh,
and-
speaking of John Moxley, what did you think about? What did you think about Winter is Coming? Other than it's Sting.
To be honest, I want to be honest. I haven't really seen all Winter is Coming. I'm going to be up front.
But you watched the
yeah,
AEW.
yes,
yeah,
I
that's
did.
what I'm getting at.
Yes. You're especially talking about because he finally lost the belt and everything, right?
Spoiler alert.
Sorry, I apologize.
If you haven't seen it yet, now come on.
But by now, everybody knows that Kenny Omega is the AEW World Champion, especially he's on TNA now. Flaunting the AEW title too.
Which am I like? I'm sorry. I'm just really disappointed in this angle so far.
Why? Why is that?
Well, it's a bunch of little things, but for one thing, and I'm trying not to criticize because I know that they're building to something and I just don't see it yet. But first of all, he gave the same promo on AEW that he gave on Impact, almost word for word. I also really don't like the way Kenny's doing promos now. It's a little too...
Risque?
No, not even risque. I'd take risque.
No.
It's a little too actory, and he's changing the way he talks, and he's all floaty and flowery. It's like, dude, you're a wrestling champion. Act like it.
Well,
As Jim Cornette calls him, Kenny Olivier.
well, yeah, but Don Callis as his manager?
I love that.
Well, I mean...
It makes sense. I was like, when are they going to do this? This makes perfect sense.
I mean, why don't you just put the thing back on his forehead and call him...
The Jackal?
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Call him the Jackal.
I don't know. Cyrus. I always like Cyrus as a character.
Cyrus. Totally forgot.
Cut.
I forgot about that.
Why are they not rehashing Cyrus for Impact?
Because
He's the EVP. Like, just rehash the character.
well, because that was ECW, and this is not.
They rehash shit all the time.
No, you're right. And when they brought back the ECW guys from TNA, they didn't call him ECW. They called him EV 2.0.
Yeah, well, copyright's a bitch, but...
Well,
and okay, but let's be real. Like, most people watching wrestling today don't even know who the Jackal or Cyrus are. Not the younger fans.
well, no,
The
no.
older fans might, but
Well, I mean, the younger fans who have the WWE Network, $9.99
for $9.99. It's still $9.99. I was waiting for them to jack that price up. But
and they haven't.
I know, good for them. They better not. They're showing record profits.
They're the only streaming service that's not hasn't even done the. I mean, I know we're going off topic here with streaming services, but Disney Plus has
Has it gone up?
They're already talking about going up a couple bucks already.
Damn it!
It's like
Yeah,
no.
Netflix is $18 now.
Yeah,
I remember when that shit was like $7.
but that was when you could rent DVDs and.
What'd he say? Back in my day when it was under $10. I remember it was funny because when they raised it to 15, I was like, I'll just cancel that shit. And then they came out with like a bunch of awesome shows. I'm like, well, shit.
Here we're showing our age. Because it's like, okay.
Yeah, kids, Netflix used to rent DVDs.
And video games.
That's right, they did. It was lesser known. Here's how old I am. I remember when Netflix put their streaming service out. Like back when it was like maybe like 1 in 20 movies you could watch on the internet. And I'm just like, oh, this is the future. First movie I ever watched on streaming was Gandhi.
Was Gandhi?
Yep.
Why would you ever watch a movie about Gandhi?
Because I was bored at work, and it was the only movie I could find that I could stream.
Alrighty then.
So I watched Gandhi.
There's nothing wrong with Gandhi.
There's a lot of things wrong with Gandhi, but...
He's hungry.
So speaking of Gandhi, Jinder Mahal, what do you think about that?
Oh, the king of NXT India? Don't hinder gender.
Oh, God.
That's
King of NXT India.
You didn't hear about that?
No.
Yeah, they're doing their, okay, they have NXT here in the United States, NXT UK, and now they're doing their third NXT, which is in India. And,
Why?
because...
Oh, I know why, but...
was obviously trying to build more stars.
Well, that's why they signed... Who did they sign from Saudi Arabia? Was that Mansoor?
Yes, I believe it was.
Yeah, we all know what that was, Vince.
Okay, well, obviously this will give Mansoor a chance to build himself up, especially in India, because it's right there in that continent type area. I'm not saying I don't know all geographic, but I'm just stating in general.
Okay, India's right there, and Saudi Arabia's like up there.
Okay, well, it's not that...
Ish.
Well, okay, but it's still a good plane ride from there to there, and then flying all the way over to the United States.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
No. Now I'm just thinking about Jinder Mahal and NXT and how appropriate that is. I was world champion once. And then they caught me on the roids.
And now they're going to put it back on the NXT brand.
How big of a downgrade is that? It's like not he went from being WWE champion, and now he's not even NXT champion. He's NXT India champion. Do they even have a championship there?
No, not yet. They've yet to get it going because it's going to be on their streaming service over there, and they're getting they're at the beginning they're going to set up a 8-man elimination tournament, which I'm assuming is for the NXT India title. So, but they're also deciding if they're going to go take NXT to there or to Japan.
Ooh, Japan would be ballsy.
Very, very ballsy, but you know how Vince is.
Yeah.
He wants
Except Vince isn't going to be able to do in Japan what he did in the UK, because he took advantage of the fact that the UK wrestling scene for a long time was dead.
Right.
And he basically took NXT UK just to sign up all the indie British talent.
Well, right, but then again, back at that time though, that's when you had Grado and Drew Galloway, and all that stuff, and ICW and WCPW
and Rev Pro and
yeah.
Well, Rev Pro's still there, but
right. Yeah, World Culture Pro Wrestling, not World Championship Wrestling.
Right.
Thank you. But
WCPW, not.
But that's what I'm saying is like wrestling in the UK was actually happening because of people like them.
But it was a smaller scale. It was a much smaller scale.
Right. Well, I saw the clip of when Grado won the ICW title from Drew Galloway.
Yeah.
And that was in like a big soccer arena stadium.
Yeah. Well, and then whatever happened to bringing back World of Sport? That happened, right?
No, I don't think it.
I couldn't remember if it actually happened or not. I know they were talking about it.
I don't think it ever happened.
That sucks. I was looking forward to that.
Okay, I know we've been off topic and everything, and I know you. I want to.
And maybe they'll send Shinsuke to NXT Japan. And we might actually get to see the old Shinsuke.
God, Shinsuke sucks.
I don't think Shinsuke sucks. I don't think they're letting him be Shinsuke. I knew he was screwed. I literally knew he was screwed the moment he got to the main roster and they started referring to him as the artist. And I'm like, oh, it was all there. It was already there.
Right.
Just call him the King of Strong Style. It's already there.
But they don't believe in stuff like that.
I know. But then don't sign him. I mean, what exactly? That's my biggest problem with that. And then same with Aleister Black, Tommy End. It's like, why did you sign these people if you didn't want what they had? I'm hoping they won't release him. But after what happened with Zelina Vega, I was hoping they would give him his, because he asked to go down to NXT and they told him no. So they're just gonna bury him until his contract runs out.
Right. Well, that's if they even use him.
Well, that's what I mean. Yeah, they probably won't even bury him. They'll just, so that they don't have to pay him.
But technically,
Not as much. He gets his
Right.
minimum, whatever his contract is, but he doesn't get any, and they're going to tank his merchandise money. Not that there was much of that anyway, because they don't market him for shit.
Well, no.
And he's one of the best talents and one of the most different, versatile in-ring talents they have.
See, and people like him could have been used good, especially when he's used against dark characters.
When he was NXT champion, that was an awesome time in NXT. He was having hella good matches. He even made Andrade look good. Not to say Andrade's bad. I just like.
Well, but he's also got his future wife to make him look good too.
Wait, Andrade?
Yeah.
Or who's his future wife?
Charlotte Flair.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
We all forgot about Charlotte Flair.
We did. What happened to her?
She took some time off.
Good for her.
She's finally at the point where she's like she needs some time away.
Yeah, a lot of it. I remember they were talking about to CM Punk on WWE Backstage, and they were talking about how Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch are taking time off because they're about to have their baby.
She had her baby.
Oh, already. This was some time ago.
Right.
But and Punk, I guess, hadn't heard that, and he's like, "Wait, you can take time off now?" He was like, "And you can take time away to work on nagging injuries?"
Yeah, the guy. Yeah, but remember, he was the guy when he was there.
Yeah.
And he wasn't allowed to take off.
I know. That's why it was funny.
Right.
That's why it was funny, because it's like, oh, okay. And then right after Punk told him to fuck off, that's when Daniel Bryan got his push, finally.
It
was Punk leaving and the audience literally screaming.
Right.
I mean, literally screaming.
Right. But, see, Daniel Bryan deserved it.
Oh, I'm not disputing that.
Right.
And the audience knew that.
Right.
And they kept not doing anything with him. Same thing happened with Kofi.
So see, the thing is, though, that was Kofi's fault at the beginning. Kofi could have been world champion a lot sooner.
Ooh.
You don't think?
I'm curious to see where you'll go with this.
I'm going with the whole the whole match with him and Randy Orton.
Oh, yeah, that thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah, that. Stupid. That was a long time. But yeah, you're right. That probably, that did something.
That kept him down.
But yeah.
And that kept him down as the mid-carder.
Yep.
And then he got with Big E and Xavier Woods, formed the New Day.
Which I just want to talk about that for a second. When they first started that, I'm like, this is the stupidest fucking thing I've ever seen.
But you gotta have the power of positivity.
I know. And then it got so damn good. Because they owned it. What the fuck are you doing? Has he been drinking?
No.
He's like, not yet, but listen to you idiots talk. I'm about to.
But you got to think though, is that like CM Punk? Okay,
yeah.
He wanted the ice cream bar back.
He
right?
got the ice cream bar back.
Yeah, they finally did.
They did.
Back. And
I thought that was hilarious.
Okay.
I think that was honestly an ad lib on his part, because just the way like Vince looked at him after he said that when he brought the ice cream bars, I just feel like that was something he's like, now's my chance.
Right. But CM Punk leaves after the Rumble, okay, and he obviously talked about the ice cream bars, but all of a sudden the New Day brings out their own cereal and all this stuff. And it's like, okay, now they're thinking, okay, now we're making sales off cereal. Why don't I do the ice cream bars?
Yeah.
But I don't think they actually. I don't think they actually made sales off of those though, because I always seen them for a short time.
Yeah,
They
it wasn't
and
a
then they
very long
disappeared.
thing. Yeah, it wasn't a very long run. But I think we can all agree that nobody can get a product over quite as well as Chris Jericho can.
Well, which product are we talking about?
Any of them. He said one sentence and then now has a champagne line.
Yes, he does.
And it's legit.
Les
Like,
Champignons. Chris Jericho.
a little bit of the bubbly. What's really funny is like there most of the time when something like that happens, like I pointed I'm like, that's gonna be a thing. And I remember watching that live when he just goes, a little bit of the bubbly, I'm like, oh, that's gonna blow up.
Okay, but anything that Jericho touches,
Exactly, it
is-
turns to
is
gold. Turns to gold. I mean, he can get he got Orange Cassidy over more.
Yes, he did. I mean, okay. Let's go back to the fact that WCW.
Yeah.
He took a truck driver.
Ralphus.
He took
I knew you were gonna bring up Ralphus.
he took a fat guy.
And apparently Ralphus is coming up asking for a contract a few months after.
He had ring rats.
I know.
I'm like, how did this ugly guy?
Because Jericho was like, I think this would be funny.
He's like, yeah, bodyguards, everything else, and yada yada yada. And next thing you know, he has this career with WCW. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go on a tangent here.
I want Ralphus in AEW.
Oh God, don't.
Just putting it out there. Ralphus should join the Inner Circle and kick MJF out.
No, he should kick out Jake Hager. Because
Good luck. Good luck.
Because he would be because he could do the thing of I'm the true bodyguard, not Jake Hager.
That'd be a good one shot for Ralphus.
Well, yes.
Show
it
would be
would.
like, I'm his bodyguard.
Okay, let's.
And then Hager just,
All right, well, let's be serious for a minute, okay?
sure, okay. After we're talking about Ralphus.
What was the match that got you in?
Okay, so for me,
match company, all that.
for
all that
me,
stuff.
there were actually two, and they're both. Well, no, I guess one isn't WWE. Anyway, so back in 2006, my friend Joe, who would eventually be my roommate, but at the time I didn't live in his apartment.
So this is when you first started getting into wrestling?
Yeah, this is when I first started getting into it.
Oh wow, late bloomer.
Yeah, big time late bloomer. But anyway, he always had wrestling on, and I'd always make fun of him, like, don't you know this shit's fake? This shit's gay. It's two half-naked dudes rubbing up against each other. You know, that kind of... I was just hating. So then finally, like, he knew I was a martial artist, and he was like, okay, I'll make a deal with you. He said, if I show you one match, and you don't like it, I'll never have wrestling on when you come over again. And I'm like, deal. So he puts on... RVD versus Jerry Lynn, ECW, Living Dangerously, 1999.
Oh, there we go.
Which is, watch that match. Actually, I might pull out my list of top 10 matches for later. I'll do that. But anyway, so I watched that, and then I've just become obsessed.
All right.
So, but then, as you're well aware, around 2010, 2011-ish, the product started just... It got bad. It got really bad. Started getting into the PG era.
Yes.
And it was just, ugh. And it was John Cena every 10 seconds.
Triple H every 10 seconds.
Yeah. Triple H versus John Cena every week.
Yes.
Yeah. Something about an authority. But anyway. So, it started getting stale. But, like, I tried so many times to get back into it. But I would just watch it and just be like, I'm so bored. And, like, there'd be a good match occasionally. But not enough for, like, a whole 2-hour plus show multiple times a week. So, and I was busy, so but I kept trying to get into it, so I kept hearing about this thing called NXT.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, I'll check it out. Unbeknownst to me, so you can watch NXT on Hulu.
Yes.
And I still don't think anybody's told Vince this, but they put the takeovers on there.
Oh, it's on Hulu right now?
Yeah, the takeovers are on Hulu. But anyway, I didn't know this, but the episode that I clicked on was NXT TakeOver Fatal 4-Way.
Okay.
The whole card was good. But I started watching the main event, and I'm like, okay, I can get into this. And the main event was, and I'll never forget, it was a Fatal 4-Way match. It was Neville, back when he was Adrian Neville. He was the NXT champion at the time, versus Sami Zayn versus Tyson Kidd, worst wrestling name ever.
Hey, leave Tyson Kidd alone.
I like Tyson Kidd. I just think his name sucks.
Well,
Because, I mean, I'm sorry, your last name is Kidd, and you're a wrestler. Figure that one out. And then Tyler Breeze. And it was like, I didn't know who, at the time, I didn't know who any of these guys were. I'd seen Tyson Kidd in passing.
right.
And actually, I rolled because every time he was on the main roster, he was a joke. Or a mid-card, not jobber, but he was a nobody.
Right.
But in this match, he looked like a badass. Because they actually let him wrestle. But I didn't know who any of these guys are. Didn't know anything about them. But within the first minute of the match, I knew who I should cheer for. I knew who I should boo for. I knew Neville was kind of a heel, but not really. Like they conveyed all that just by the way they were wrestling. And it was a hell of a good match. And at not one point was I bored. And so many false finishes, I was just like, okay, I'm back in. And it was also about the time Lucha Underground. I discovered Lucha Underground.
Oh, Lucha Underground.
I hate Lucha Underground. But anyway, what about yours?
See, that's a problem for me because I've been watching this since I was like 2-3 years old. And the problem for me was, and now a lot of people know this about me, I didn't know who WWE was.
Really?
Or WWF was.
You didn't know who the WWF was?
No.
Well, goddamn, kid.
Like...
That's the worst Stone Cold impression ever, by the way.
Okay. I didn't know who they actually were until like the late 90s.
When everyone knew who they were.
Right. Like pretty much when the Attitude Era was starting, like late 97 and everything. I was always a WCW mark.
Well, yeah,
WCW fan. Well, that's because my grandfather and my uncle, that's all they watched too, was
right.
the NWA and WCW. So, and one of the first matches that I watched was Great American Bash, 1990. And you know what I'm going with. Sting and Flair.
Yep.
And that's what made, and obviously you're thinking, 2 years old, how's he ever going to remember this?
It's Sting!
Exactly. Sting.
That's why you were marking out.
Right. Because I'm a Sting fan.
Yeah.
I've liked Sting since I was little. And like I said, I didn't know what WWF was. I didn't know who Hulk Hogan was. And I know that's scared to say.
Eric over here.
I'm just okay. You're really gonna.
How did you not know who Hulk Hogan was, bro?
I know everybody. I know everybody loves Hulk Hogan.
Thunder Lips.
He's been tanning at the beach, maybe Venice to be exact, in California.
Thunder Lips or Hulk Hogan?
You don't remember that, do you? That promo?
Wait, what was it now?
Talking about how he was Mr. America.
Oh God, yeah.
But that's for a little bit later. But anyways,
Not to interrupt you, but that just reminded me. Were you a fan of Southpaw Regional Wrestling?
Yes, I was.
Oh my God.
Yes, I was.
This is Lance Catamaran, and we're here to tell you about Lethal Leap Year. There's not a leap year? God damn it.
But
why have they not done Southpaw Regional Wrestling pay-per-view?
Well, there's a problem with that because they released.
Well, I know half of them are gone, but
Yeah,
I mean back
because they probably didn't think it was actually going to be taken seriously.
it wasn't. But do you realize how much money they would have made off of that?
Right.
I mean, just look at they sold out of the Lethal Leap Year and Showdown in the Swamp shirts on WWEshop.com.
I mean, come on. If that right there doesn't say, hey, we can actually make money off this.
I will tell you right now, I didn't have the WWE Network at the time.
Right.
But if they had announced they were going to do, they could have had so much fun with it. It's like, we found an old VHS tapes called Showdown in the Swamp. They could have had Vince do it, be like, what the hell is this? Showdown in the Swamp? Like, what the hell? And then, They could have had so much fun with that.
They could have. You're right.
And nobody would have had to bump ever. Because it's making fun of the 80s. Like, the only bump is the finish.
No, you're right. You're right.
It would have been the easiest payday for ever. And TNA tried to do it. Impact tried to do it. They ripped it off because they did their 80s night, which was... Anyway.
Well, no, okay, well... Are you mainly talking about Congo Kong?
No.
And Brian Cage?
No. I'm talking about the whole show they did.
No, I know what you're talking about.
Oh, just that match? No, actually, that match was one of
The Body Slam Challenge?
Okay, that was good.
The Body Slam Challenge was like, okay, you got a guy who's supposed to look like he's from... I'm sorry, Congo Kong. I'm sorry. But you look like a ripoff of Kamala.
Well, yeah.
And...
Actually, when we did our podcast and we were talking about Kamala Harris, I wanted to put a thumbnail of Kamala up there. But...
I was getting ready to mention something about Kamala.
Yeah. I didn't know if too many people would get the joke, but that was going to be for me.
See, every time somebody says Kamala Harris, that's what I think of.
I know, me too. I was like, ooh. I swear, somebody should just... I will pay somebody in her makeup department to just put the lines on her face and not tell her before she goes out on TV, please. Shoot me a message. I will pay you.
Face filter.
There you go.
That'd be a lot easier.
No.
Yeah, that would be a lot easier. Or Photoshop. I mean.
Sorry, everybody. The camera's talking.
I mean, if not Donald Trump. Sorry, if Barack Obama can come out to, is it Barack Obama that did this? Okay, I know we're going off topic, going to politics and going to their realm. Sorry, I don't really.
Hey, Donald Trump was at WrestleMania, so.
He's in the Hall of Fame.
I know, right?
Right.
People forget that. Linda McMahon is his Secretary of Labor, I think.
For now.
Yeah, for now.
Who was what president came out to a wrestling thing?
Oh, like to an event?
It was not at a wrestling show, but it was in like one of their dinner type things.
Oh, I'm sure Obama did it.
I think it was Obama.
Yeah.
He came out to the Real American by Hulk Hogan.
Which, why you wouldn't? Every politician ever.
Well, no, he came out to it because because it was the whole fact of the.
Oh, the birth certificate
Yes.
thing? That's hilarious.
It was the birth certificate thing, and then they found out that he was actually a real American. So it was like, okay,
I'm
going
a
to come
real
out.
American.
I'm going to come out as a real American. So if you do the same thing with Kamala Harris, put the face filter on her face, have her come out to Kamala's theme song, there you go.
That might be a touch racist. Just a smidge.
Well,
It's okay in wrestling, but I don't know if you can get away with that.
I'm not racist. I really am not.
No, I'm just saying like that moment would be a touch racist because it was the 80s.
Benji, brother Steve said, "Get it in."
Get it in.
He said, "Harris is Al Qaeda."
Oh,
I'll come.
Al Qaeda. Al Qaeda.
that's bad.
Yeah.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
Yeah, don't say that.
She strikes me more as a Hezbollah kind of person.
Okay, I said my
That was racist.
I've said my little piece.
Not
about,
really.
I've said my little piece about politics. Let's get off politics. Get back into this.
Yeah, except I just got to bring up. Do you remember?
Oh Jesus! Here we go.
No, but you'll remember this. Speaking of politics, well, actually, this doesn't have much to do with politics. Only that Donald Trump was president. Do you remember the abortion of a match that Vince came up with, where he had
Donald Trump versus Rosie O'Donnell.
Yep. And
Yes.
the crowd at a WWE live television broadcast was chanting TNA.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that was bad. And it was Ace Steel was Donald, and I forget who.
I don't remember.
Wasn't it Sarah? Wasn't it Serena Deep?
I think it was.
Yeah, which I'm just looking at that because I knew who Ace Steel was and I knew who Serena Deeb was. It was Serena. I can't remember
All
who.
right, now you got me.
We'll figure it out. So I was so happy when she came to AEW. I was like, finally, she might get some proper recognition on like mainstream television. But
I mean, she's a good wrestler. She deserves.
That's pretty much how I feel when anybody comes to AEW.
What just a.
That okay, they might actually get their due now.
Well, you're right.
Well, what I was gonna say is I'm just waiting for Aleister Black to show up or Tommy End. I'm waiting for Tommy End and Thea Trinidad to show up in AEW.
You really think that everybody's just going to go to AEW?
Not everybody, but I think that I think he would. I think they would both shine in AEW. Although I thought for a split second that Thea showed up in AAA because the thumbnail was a wrestler who looked just like her, but she was wearing a mask, so I couldn't tell.
True.
I was like, oh, wouldn't that be something?
Yeah, but she's not allowed to.
Yeah, I know she's got her 90-day non-compete, but I think that's only in the United States. I don't know if that applies internationally.
I think they have to use that for all companies.
All televised companies, but yeah, maybe.
Oh, and Mexico is televised.
Kind of, though.
Well, if you got satellite, you can watch it.
Well, yeah, but I mean...
a lot of people... Okay. I know a lot of people nowadays don't have cable or satellite because they all get...
we got the interwebs.
You got the interwebs, you're right. Just like, obviously, Triple Mania and everything just happened and all that stuff. And I saw it was... They actually use Marvel superheroes.
Yeah, they do, because they don't give a fuck about copyright.
Well, it was Venom against Thanos, against Spider-Man, against Captain America.
Was Pentagon Venom? Because he's got one of his masks as a Venom motif.
No.
It wasn't him?
No.
Oh, so they legit, like, just costumed up, and
Uh-huh.
That's awesome. I love Mexico.
It says MJF is all A&W needs because he is better than you.
And you know it.
And you know it.
I fucking love MJF. I love the picture of him flipping the kid off at the meet and greet. That's the best thing ever.
Did you know what his last name used to be before it was Freeman?
That's what we were talking about last podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Feinstein.
No. Is he related to Rob Feinstein?
No.
Oh.
But
that would have been funny.
Well, the thing is, I don't know if they are.
And then everybody's like, who's Rob Feinstein?
Well, Rob Feinstein is a man who used to be a camera guy for Extreme Championship Wrestling back in the mid to late 90s.
And then the original founder of Ring of Honor.
Yes, he was.
Until he got caught sending nude photos to little kids.
And now he's the...
That's legit. That actually happened.
And now he's the proud owner of rfvideo.com, where he does shoot interviews with a whole bunch of wrestlers.
Oh, does he still own RF?
Uh-huh.
Oh. I did not know that.
Right. Well, right now, since they can't really do any... Like, they can still do the shoot interviews and stuff.
Yeah.
But he's one of the ones right now that's doing the whole auction signing things.
Oh, like Jim Cornette is?
Like, what do you mean?
At CornetteCollectibles.com.
Well, he does the thing like Signed by Superstars.
Oh, okay. Okay.
They'll plug there for your Rob Feinstein. Where he brings the wrestler on, they do an auction.
Oh,
and
okay,
they do it live, and they do an auction and everything. Like, okay,
that's cool.
Do this stuff, and they pick which item they want to have signed, and they'll sign it and they'll mail it off to them.
Oh, that's cool.
So, but yeah, when he first started, he was Feinstein, but then he went to Friedman, which Friedman
Makes sense.
sounds more.
Yeah, it makes more sense. Plus, I think when you're in wrestling, you want to avoid the Feinstein name. I can see that.
Right.
Okay, so just for funsies, I've got.
For funsies.
These are my. Yeah, these are my. It started out as my top 20, but now it's 23 because fuck you, I don't care. No particular order either, but these are my top matches, and you should go watch them if you haven't seen them already.
I'm going to see if I've seen any of these matches.
Oh, you've seen some because I brought 2 up already.
Okay.
CM Punk versus John Cena at Money in the Bank 2011.
I've seen that.
Great match. The ending spectacular. And then Rob Van Dam, Jerry Lynn, Living Dangerously, 1999. Yep. And then they had another match at Living Dangerously Hardcore Heaven 2000, I think. That's also very good.
I believe so, yes.
Kevin Owens NXT debut against CJ Parker. NXT Fatal 4-Way main event.
Yep.
This one's fantastic. Pentagon Jr. versus Vampiro at Ultima Lucha 1.
Was that the where Vampiro was Vampiro?
Yeah.
Okay, and not his.
Yeah, not his human self.
That's where he came out with
The anti-Pope outfit. And
yes.
Yeah.
I go back on YouTube and all that just to watch that entrance because that entrance right there alone just gives me chills.
Such a good match, though. And it actually showed how good they both were because obviously Vampiro's older. He can't wrestle like he used to.
Right.
But at no point did the match feel slow.
No.
And, I mean, like, if you know what you're looking for, you can tell Pentagon is physically carrying it, but Vampiro is, like he's carrying the psychology. And they're making it work because Pentagon is working around his physicality, but Vampiro is, you can tell Vampiro has paced the match because Pentagon is normally a lot faster.
Mm-hmm.
Which I guess there was some, not controversy, but I think, and I noticed it because I remember Jericho, I think he said on his podcast, he was like, I watched a match with the Lucha Brothers and like they missed a tag and it pissed me off. So I gave them an earful when they came back and told them to slow the fuck down and like make sure what they were doing made sense. And then literally I was like, oh, because I noticed a difference in their in-ring work.
Well, but that's the thing is like in Mexico.
Oh, I know. Watching AAA is like watching a car crash.
Well, that's the thing. Like in Mexico, you don't have to tag.
Right. Because it's just a free-for-all.
Right.
Which, for some reason, in Lucha Underground, it worked. But when I watch AAA, it's like they just, everything's so damn fast. Even switching the camera angles is too damn fast. Like, they need to slow down. Because they're doing all this cool stuff, but you miss half of it.
Well, and the other thing is when you do watch AAA, especially back in the day when I was younger and watching it, especially at like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, because I would watch, they would have an hour of CMLL and then an hour of AAA.
Yep.
The whole show, both of them, because they got so many dang wrestlers, they're all like 6-man or 8-man
they're
tags.
all, yep. Anyway, keeping going. The Junior Heavyweight Championship Fatal 4-Way at Wrestle Kingdom 12, which I believe was Kushida, Hiromu Takahashi, Will Ospreay, and I forget the fourth one.
See, I have not seen that match.
Oh, that's so good.
I need to see that one.
Yeah. And then another one is Kushida versus Hiromu Takahashi at Dominion of that same year.
Okay.
Awesome match. This one you have seen. Pete Dunne versus Tyler Bate, NXT TakeOver Chicago for the WWE UK title.
Yep.
One of the best matches ever. And I remember being shocked because I didn't know who either of these two were. And I was like, that's random. I'm like, oh, I get it. That should have been the main event, but whatever. Asuka versus Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania New Orleans.
No.
Which was the best match on the card. Fight me. I don't care. Yeah, it legit was the best match on the card.
I've seen it, but
yeah, that WrestleMania was not a very good one.
buddy of mine was there.
Oh yeah,
A few buddies of mine were there.
I'm sorry.
I mean, it's their first time going to WrestleMania. I'm like, you sons of bitches.
That whole pay-per-view pissed me off.
Well,
But anyway, NXT TakeOver New Orleans, the first ever North American Championship ladder match.
oh God, yes.
So I went into that match rooting for Ricochet. And, like, don't get me wrong, he did awesome. But Velveteen Dream brought it in that match.
We're going to get back on topic, but I just want to say this right now. Velveteen Dream, I feel bad for you because you don't know how to keep your mouth shut and you're a good worker. You need to learn to work.
I disagree. I think he works just fine.
No, he knows how to work, but
Yeah.
with the whole, like, putting his number on his
Oh, yeah.
stuff like that, it's like, come on, man.
Yeah. All right. So then Rob Van Dam, John Cena, One Night Stand 2006.
It was an okay match.
I thought it was a great match. The ending just kind of... But
You know.
I thought that was kind of cheap, but I know what they were doing. It's like, oh, we can't have an ECW guy beat the WWE's Golden Boy clean.
Well, but they had to set it up for the ECW
Right.
reboot.
Right.
That sucked.
Then Adam Cole versus Kyle O'Reilly at Wrestle Kingdom 11 for the Ring of Honor title.
Oh,
That was a damn good match because, like, Kyle O'Reilly they both brought it, but that match, you just felt like they fucking hated each other. I mean, same with the Kushida Takahashi match.
yeah.
Like, you just got the sense that they fucking wanted to hurt each other, and that, like, it felt real. AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura, Wrestle Kingdom 11
Okay.
for the IWGP. Then we got Kenny Omega versus Kazuchika Okada, Dominion 2017. Will Ospreay versus Kushida at Wrestling Dontaku 2018. Cody versus Nick Aldis at All In for the NWA World's Heavyweight Championship. I was in the crowd. Ooh. That should have been the main event.
It should have, but
it was. I wouldn't say its placing was inappropriate either. It felt right.
right.
But it was definitely the biggest match.
It was, but I understood why that 6-man.
I get it. Yeah, I get. Like, it's not a hill I would die on.
But obviously you knew. But no, not to get off topic, but what sucked about that whole night though, is I understand why they had all those matches they did.
Yep.
But some of those matches could have been cut a little shorter.
Yeah, but
Well,
they made it
that
work.
main event was rushed.
Yeah, that's the only. And I forget which match went over. It was one specifically. I want to say it was the.
I think it was Kenny's.
I think they went over a little, but I think Skrull and Okada went over a lot.
Oh.
I think. I'm not sure. I read somewhere, but holy crap! All In, very close to being a perfect wrestling show. Like, I had zero complaints, and I don't really know. Maybe having a little bit more time for that last main event
Right.
would have been the only thing. Let's see. Then we got Kenny Omega versus Pentagon Jr. at All In. All right. And then we got the Lucha Brothers, Pentagon Jr. and Rey Fenix versus the Young Bucks at Double or Nothing. That was a hell of a good match.
Mm-hmm.
And then another really good match, which I think I have it. I just got to... Okay, now I've got it, so it's later. Then we got Cody versus Dustin Rhodes at Double or Nothing.
Yes.
That was a hell of a match.
Yep.
Undertaker versus Jeff Hardy, undisputed title match, Raw in 2002. Yeah,
Bad boy.
That's a hell of a match. Then we got possibly the best tag team match I've ever seen, at least in recent history.
Right.
Young Bucks versus Hangman Page and Kenny Omega at AEW Revolution.
Okay.
Which was a hell of a pay-per-view.
Okay.
Nick Jackson versus Rey Fenix on AEW Dynamite.
Okay.
That was just a random one, but I was like, oh, that's going to be good. They tore the house down. Oh, I had Cody versus Dustin Rhodes, so it's only 22. I had Cody and Dustin on there twice.
Oh.
So, yeah. Them's my top matches, and I'm sticking to it.
Okay.
I feel like there's a good mixture in there.
There is.
Because I tried not to make it all... And, like, I know I cut AEW a lot of slack because I'm a fan, so I try not to favor them too much.
I noticed you don't have any WCW matches on there.
I will admit, because I did not watch a lot of WCW.
Well, and
I didn't watch any of it when it was on, so my WCW history is pretty minimal.
See, and that's the thing of a lot of people, especially friends of mine, who give me a lot of crap for it because at the time when I watched it, I didn't get what they were talking about and everything. And now that I'm older and I've been in the wrestling business and everything else, I get why a lot of people dog on WCW.
What are they saying over there, Eric? I see.
I'm totally invested with Brandon Cutler at the moment. I see a heel.
Right?
Bucks coming.
Oh, you want to talk about
Trash
storytelling?
Cans. Trash cans.
Go ahead.
Storytelling.
What the hell was that?
What?
There's a voice in my headphones.
There is.
Yeah. Something said trash bins.
Trash bins.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm hearing shit. I'm going crazy.
What's going on over there, producer?
Producer.
Producer's playing Call of Duty. And it's coming through on your headphones. Oh,
I'm
okay.
gonna hear some 12-year-olds start talking some mad shit here in a minute.
You can't hear the game, though, can you?
No. He's just like,
Alright.
I fucked your mom.
Alright.
Alrighty then.
But yes.
I muted everything.
But yes. What they're doing with Brandon Cutler is just awesome. I loved the whole bit with him and Peter Avalon constantly trying to get their first win.
Okay.
And then like, so I'm not the shittiest wrestler in AEW.
No, that's Joey Janela. Sorry. No, I'm kidding. I love Joey Janela. I love him.
His match at All In, I mean, not to say that's his only good match, but
Are you talking about the one where he took that?
Hangman Page.
Yes.
It was funny. I was like, they're going to use that damn Cracker Barrel somehow. And they did.
Wasn't that the same match he almost died?
You're going to have to narrow it down for Joey Janela.
That table spot? There you go. There you go.
Oh,
Talk about the table spot.
I was nervous. But speaking of All In again, how did Stephen Amell do?
Oh,
Considering it was his first match ever,
who did he wrestle?
Christopher Daniels.
That's right. I think, here's my opinion. I think if Green Arrow
Yeah.
gave it, I'm being serious. I think if Stephen Amell, Green Arrow, could actually do more training,
Oh yeah.
he could actually
He could do it.
He could make
do
us
it.
wrestler.
Oh yeah. Yeah. But why would he take the pay cut? It was fun. It was a lot of fun, and he surprised me. Like, 'cause I didn't think he was gonna suck out loud, but I didn't think he was gonna do as well as he did.
Well, but the thing is, though, is look where he was wrestling a full actual blown match
Right.
there compared to when he was in WWE. And he wrestled that one match.
Yeah, and he was doing like that was more of a spot, I would say even.
Well, the Green Arrow and the Red Arrow against Stardust, and
Yeah, but
who was the other guy?
I don't remember.
I totally forgot.
Well, point made.
Nah.
He's like, I'll never forget who he wrestled at All In.
Who watching this can or tell us, because I totally forget.
Let's get on the Google machine. Hold on, let me pause my game. Oh no, he's like, fuck you, I'm not looking that up. I'm gonna slaughter this little 12-year-old kid.
I'm young Eric, not Jamie.
Young hair.
What am I looking at?
Green Arrow, Stephen Amell, and Adrian Neville versus Stardust, and at SummerSlam. It was SummerSlam, wasn't it?
That was SummerSlam. Oh, so I guess it wasn't his first match. Technically, it was his first singles match.
What do you want to know about it?
King, does it say King Barrett?
Oh, was it King? Oh, I think it was.
Yes.
Neville, Stephen Amell, Stardust, and King Barrett.
Yeah, that's right.
We just couldn't find a gimmick that worked.
I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
They could not make that work with him. For some reason.
No.
It might have been the roids.
He
Not really, I'm just kidding.
He had a good he had it good when he had Nexus and everything else, and then they just wasted it.
Yeah. Which they're doing a lot lately.
Yeah, they waste a lot of talent. But getting back to what I was saying about WCW, because you obviously don't know much about.
Not a ton. Like, I know a lot of historical facts, but as far as, like, specific matches and whatnot.
We'll see, like.
I do like me some DDP yoga, though.
We'll see, that's what's funny is, like, a cousin of mine, he, because obviously Sting debuted in AEW and everything, and all that. I was talking about.
It's
like,
Sting!
He was talking about, like, well, Sting and Dust. I was talking about how Sting and Dustin Rhodes could team up again. You're like, they've never teamed up before a day in their lives. I'm like,
Oh, yeah, they have.
I'm like, yeah, they had in WCW.
Yeah.
And he didn't believe me, and I sent him a picture of them as a team for War Games, and he's like, huh.
How awesome was War Games? NXT. Because we know it was awesome in WCW, but... Well, I mean, it should have been more awesome, but...
Okay. Later on...
Yeah.
When they first started War Games, it was amazing. Later on...
Well, yeah.
That's what I'm saying, like, because I've actually been in the business and everything, because I rep for the 2 years, so I know how the business works. To a degree, I'm not saying, like, I'm so smart that I'm Vince McMahon or Tony Khan and have all the money, and I know what I'm doing. But
I don't know. I question how smart Tony Khan is with this whole Impact thing. Because like it's good for the industry. I don't see how it's good for AEW.
Okay. As soon as it happened, Triple H says, "Oh, we'll cross brand with other promotions."
Yeah, but I don't believe it.
I don't either.
Now, what would be a legit oh shit moment for AEW would be if WWE and New Japan were able to.
Yeah, because Kenny can't go back there.
Right. I mean, I'd rather see AEW and New Japan come up with some sort of working relationship, but, well, maybe... Boy, could you imagine some of the dream matches, though?
Right, but then all that's going to do is lead into where Vince will just try to swoop in and buy it out.
Yeah, but I don't think he can do... That's what I was going to say earlier. I don't think you can do that in Japan.
He says, no, that's Fuego, LMAO. He says, War Games 92. And he says he's going to buy it.
Okay. That was actually the War Games I was talking about.
There you go. But yeah, because New Japan and just the culture of New Japan is so steeped in tradition. You're not going to be able to buy it. Well, I mean, I say that, and they just have a new chairman, but I don't see it.
See, that's the thing is they had the working relationship in the 80s and 90s
with WCW.
WWE did first.
Oh yeah. And then they got the one shot for Jushin Thunder Liger to come wrestle Tyler Breeze at a takeover, which I thought was cool.
Right. Because
that's what I would realistically want, and I would rather have New Japan just be like, look, yeah, if you want to book one of our talents, we'll figure it out.
Right.
But not be exclusively with anyone. Just be like, that's how I wish it was. Like
a worker could go work anywhere and everywhere.
Or at least have the opportunity. So, like, and I think New Japan has always been this way. It's kind of like, yeah, I mean, you want to book Jushin Thunder Liger for one shot at NXT? Go for it. You want to bring Okada over and have, like, a little feud between the Universal Champion and the IWGP Champion? Sure. Like, let's do it. It's like printing money.
Right.
But Vince, as long as Vince is in charge, that'll never happen. If Triple H was in charge, I think the whole landscape would be different.
And that's why everybody's waiting for Vince to die so he can take over.
Yeah, because Triple H, I'll give credit where credit's due. I don't think he's ever believed that wrestling should be in a vacuum like Vince does. It's like, oh, we can't talk about that. It's like, no, let's talk about it. I mean, Punk name-dropped New Japan and Ring of Honor in one promo.
Yep.
And it's like, do you really think your audience is so stupid that they're like, what's Ring of Honor?
It's pretty much the new territory system in 2020.
Exactly. The internet has allowed the territory system to come back to a point.
Right.
Not quite the way it was, but I mean, even look at, like, I didn't know who HOG was.
House of Glory?
Yeah, I didn't know who they were before AEW.
Or HOH, House of Hardcore?
I knew what HOH was.
Okay.
I'm a Tommy Dreamer fan.
I mean...
Don't hate.
I'm not hating.
Don't hate.
I'm not hating.
Or as Tommy Dreamer would say, don't hate. Haters gonna hate.
I'm not hating on the man who found Woo Woo Woo, you know it.
Was that Dreamer?
He helped.
He helped.
A little bit, yeah.
That sounds like such a not Tommy Dreamer thing to say. Just imagine him say, woo, woo, woo. You know it. Yonkers.
Well, I mean, it's funny hearing Vince McMahon say it on Raw.
And then they released him.
Okay, but that's the thing. He's making more money than ever right now.
Oh, I know. And that's why WWE should be shitting their pants, because now it's like, you can't even hold money over these guys.
Nope.
Like, a lot of people ask for their releases because they're going to get pay raises by working the indies.
Well, right, but obviously there's very little indie shows going on right now.
Well, yeah, right now. I mean, just in general.
Right.
Yeah, because right now, unless you're in a contract, you're pretty well screwed. But,
Right.
which is why, of all the times to tell your talent that they can't do things like Cameo and Twitch and, like, what the fuck?
They need something to do.
Yeah, well, they need income because the way WWE's pay scale works, unless you're John Cena or someone like that, like, you don't even have... You don't even have guaranteed money. I mean, you have guaranteed money, but you might not have guaranteed money if you're lower enough on the card.
Well, if you're just sitting at home, what do you?
Well, right, and even if you have guaranteed money, it's not like you're not making as much if you're not wrestling.
Right. Especially like you're not making any money off merch sales.
Well, yeah, and that's the big one.
And,
Speaking of merch sales,
oh God, here we go again.
once again, the official sponsor of this podcast, Young Bucks, tilling the business. Sold wherever books are sold, provided they're in stock. I had to go to 3 Barnes & Nobles before I found one. Or you can buy it, I believe you can buy it on AEWshop.com, maybe. I don't remember. Amazon or YoungBucksMerch.com, if that site is still around. Where you can also get...
Sorry. Are we actually having a plug for everything Young Bucks?
Yes.
I'm sure they sell it at Hot Topic too.
No, not the book. But they do sell this at Hot Topic now. Which actually, thanks Pentagon for putting that on your Instagram, because it was very helpful. He actually put also a chart of the stores where you could buy it. Because this is part of the Legends of Lucha Libre series, and the back has the Cero Miedo.
Oh, Jesus.
Dude, I've been trying to buy a Pentagon Jr. shirt for like 3 years, okay?
I mean, what's wrong with the shirt that I'm wearing?
It's not badass.
Real men wear pink.
No, that's a lie.
That's a lie?
Yeah, that's a lie.
Why is that?
Because real men don't wear pink.
So
These comments you left me. Not pink.
You need to watch DVC Abridged, because they have a joke with that where the text on the back of the shirt keeps changing to say like very, very inappropriate things. Like at one point I think it says, I don't remember what it says, but it's very inappropriate.
It is.
everything's appropriate. Inappropriate, sorry.
When you wear pink, yeah.
Hey.
Hey.
All right.
All right, let's get into another topic here, okay? You called me the podcast champion, okay?
I thought I did. I thought I called myself the podcast champion.
No, you called me that.
Oh, okay.
And that's why I held up the title and everything said that I am the champion, okay?
Yeah.
But obviously we got this belt in here and everything, show off. This beautiful belt. There's a lot of designs of belts out there.
Yes,
Okay.
there are.
And I am what you call a belt mark.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
A lot of people don't
What's
know.
what's the prettiest belt?
See,
That's out now, not ever.
like promotion wise?
Yeah.
Okay. What's funny is the prettiest belt or my favorite belt of all time?
Both.
Okay. That's hard.
My answer will surprise most people, because I'm sure you're like, oh, the AEW championship. It's a pretty belt, but it ain't the prettiest.
See, that's hard. I think see, this is hard. I think what the prettiest belt is the old WCW United States title.
Ooh. That is a pretty belt.
And I'm not saying the three. See, before it was just the 3 plates,
Yeah.
the main plate plus the 2 side plates.
Yep.
It used to be 5 plates.
Okay.
Back in the mid '90s, when a young cat named Stunning Steve Austin. That's Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Back when I had hair.
Very little.
3 of them. All 3 of them.
Very little. That's when he had to come over.
Yeah.
Donald Trump.
It's hardly the Donald Trump when you've got a receding hairline.
But that's when he had the WCW United States title.
Yeah.
And I was a big fan of that belt. Really pretty belt and everything. But my favorite belt of all time, and a lot of people argue with me, because it's like, why? You know, like, if you start to be, especially if you want to get in the wrestling business, you try to be a champion. This is what you go for. This is what you want to be, the world champion, because they're considered the number one company in the world. To me, I'm a fan of the NWA.
Oh, you like the 10 pounds of gold?
I do like the 10 pounds of gold, and the reason being, the reason being is the history of that.
I get that. It's just, to me, I don't love the look of the belt, but I get it.
Okay, well, what I obviously said.
92 IC title, man. So badass.
That's the white strap, right?
No, that was the black one.
Where's the? Oh, that was further back, the white strap, and then they brought it back. Well, they brought it back, but I mean the original.
They brought it back as when Cody had the oval IC title.
Right.
He brought back the white. He brought back the classic Intercontinental title on a white strap.
Which I loved.
But it was white back in the day when
Right.
Shawn Michaels had it.
Right.
Especially at WrestleMania 9.
Right.
When he also Tatanka.
Yep.
No, yeah, Tatanka. Tatanka had his undefeated streak at WrestleMania 9. All right, your turn.
For the prettiest belt?
Prettiest belt and your favorite belt.
Well, for me, they go hand in hand. Well,
So you saying the same, or you got two?
no. For my answer, it's the same. I'm a big fan of the IWGP Heavyweight title.
Which version?
The current one.
Okay.
It's nice and big, but it's not too gaudy.
Okay.
You know, it looks like a legit title. Like, it's not too glitzy, but it's not ugly. So here's the kicker though. What's the ugliest belt out there today?
The ugliest belt.
The ugliest belt.
24/7 title.
Ooh, no, it's not. You know what the ugliest belt in wrestling is?
What?
NWA United States Championship.
You mean? Are you talking about the one they just brought back?
Oh, did they change it? Hang on.
You talking about where it looks like a weightlifting belt with the actual United States?
Yes.
Okay, that was the United States title way back in the day.
I know, it's still ugly. I mean, that's an ugly ass belt. You gotta admit.
Okay, but
I mean, whose idea was that?
Okay, but it's got more to the imagine than a belt that has nothing on the side plates and on the main plate says WWE 24/7. That's it.
Well, but that's a stupid championship.
Right, and R-Truth is like...
R-Truth is running with that shit, and it is hilarious.
He says current IC title and Universal title. I hate it so much.
Yeah, the current IC title's ugly. And the Universal title, I know where they were going with it, but I just think it failed.
Why, because it's on the blue strap? Or because it's the Universal title?
It wasn't necessary. And I'm sorry, I've yet to see one non-Earth dweller compete for that belt. It's the Miss Universe pageant all over again.
See,
if I want to see a fucking alien go for that belt, let's get the Mandalorian on that shit.
Baby Yoda. Oh, I'm sorry, the child. I apologize.
Grogu. Man.
You ruined it for me.
Oh. I mean...
Spoiler alert. Spoiler
old,
alert.
Man.
To you, it is. Me, it's not.
Spoiler.
I have yet to watch it.
Well, I haven't technically watched it, but
No.
fucking social media.
And then that's why when I see certain stuff like that, I stay away.
I do that every time I miss a wrestling pay-per-view. I'm like, okay, social media blackout, and then I forget it, but I'm like, fuck! Well, I know who won that match.
So no lineage, no respect, might as well call it the Roman Reigns belt.
True. Although, let's not forget who the first Universal Champion was.
I probably butchered
Finn
how I
Balor.
said it.
Yep, Finn Balor right there. What? Oh, that was too sweet.
I'll go with you on that one.
Whew, I'm tired
Finn Balor.
now.
You're tired.
No, man, it's like the whole...
The Mega Powers.
You're playing with the monkey.
Playing with Monkey.
Oh, it's delayed.
Oh, okay. I heard playing with a monkey. I'm like,
All right, well, speaking of belts, I promised a big announcement tonight, and this seems like as good a time as any.
Okay.
Now, there's no disputing that this belt is important.
It is, especially because even though it's, replica title and everything.
Yep.
It goes hand in hand with whose name's on it.
Yeah. Well, to quote Shane Douglas, it can kiss my ass. Because this is the most important title belt in the world today. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, oh, that looks like the All Elite Wrestling Championship belt. Well, it's not. This one's smaller. This, my friends, is the All Events Welcome Championship belt.
All events welcome?
Yes, sir.
You want to explain that to me?
I'm about to.
All right.
So, have you ever wanted to be a world champion, Ben? Like a legit world champion?
Sure.
Well, now you can.
Okay. How do you do that?
You win this belt. All events welcome means what it sounds like. All events welcome.
Rock, paper, scissors, right now.
It's rock, paper... Well, hang on. We want to make this fair, because we're not going to just crown a champion. We're going to do this right.
I win.
To crown the first ever All Events Welcome champion, on this podcast live, we are going to have a game of Cards Against Humanity, and all those who want to participate are welcome to play for this title.
So you have to be here in local.
Yeah, you have to physically come here. You can't do this online shit. Now, some events could be online. You could be in Japan right now, and you could challenge for this. And if the champion accepts, you may very well become the All Events Welcome champion. Now, some ground rules. Once there is a champion established, champion's advantage is the champion gets to pick the event, or at least agree to it.
Okay.
You can challenge the champion, but they have to accept the challenge.
I feel better now.
And another ground rule, we're not going to get too crazy with this. The champion must defend their title at least once a month.
Uh-oh.
Somehow,
He says
some
the
way.
champ is here watching you hold his title. Shine it for me, please.
It's all brand new. So, again,
Cards Against Humanity.
yep. For the inaugural event to crown the first ever All Events Welcome champion.
Okay.
We're going to get some
Date to be determined.
different microphones and
Yep.
perhaps maybe just like a one that can just catch us all.
Yep, we'll figure it out. But that's the big announcement. And again, all comers are welcome.
To be announced.
You just have to be able to participate in the event in question.
He said try not to sweat all over it.
Sweat? Who's sweating?
Where that?
I ain't
He
nervous.
said try to, that's your size too. It's a little.
It's not the size that counts, it's how you use it.
Just because I got the big bad boy right here.
Yeah, that's heavy and shit. Like,
Yeah, well. All right.
hey, the NWA title's only 10 pounds.
I don't care.
Just saying. Is it even 10 pounds? I don't think it is.
Obviously, I've not held a real one, but I've held a replica version of it, and it's pretty heavy.
Really, 10? Oh, I guess that big fucking ball in the middle must carry some weight.
He said ball.
I said ball. I feel like that's a good stopping point.
I think it is.
Boom.
All events
welcome.
All events welcome the title.
Yep. This is not a wrestling championship. It's an everything championship.
All right. Well.
Oh.
I guess that's the old stopping point, Ben. It was a pleasure.
Pleasure to talk with you.
Yep. And let us know what you thought about those promos, people. I was proud of that.
I was proud of that too.
Yeah, it was good shit.
I kicked his ass.
Eh.
Ready?
Yeah, ready.